What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Improv Tabletop, the show that we usually do RPG stuff on, but today we've got a very special Choose Your Own Adventure book. I'm Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I'm joined by...
Conrad Connor Wood, McElroy enthusiast.
And Michael Sear, maybe don't kiss your dad square on the lips.
No, that's not what you want to do with this podcast. There's a very specific podcast that you want to do that with. Oh, folks, we are so very excited. As I think the three only resident fans of the McElroy brothers on the Improv Tabletop cast, I might be incorrect. If any of my cast afterwards tells me that they're fans of the McElroys, good, but why didn't you tell me before? Because
Yeah, come on.
This is an appreciation for our littlest brother, Griffin McElroy, who has written a Choose Your Own Adventure book published by the actual Choose Your Own Adventure organization. And so we are here to appreciate the wonderful work of our favoritist neighborhood GM. So here's the thing. Most of the books that we read, because they were written so long ago when people didn't know how to write a good Choose Your Own Adventure book and how to figure out a narrative flow that makes sense based on cause and effect, etc., etc. A lot of the fun in those episodes is in just dissecting why is this happening? This is insane. How does this make sense? Now, Griffin McElroy, though, is a professional dungeon master and has been working in the video games review space for decades. So this is a guy who maybe knows a thing or two about a good narrative flow and how to write a good game book. So that's what I'm hoping, at least. I mean, it's possible maybe that Griffin is just going to completely let us down with an absolute clunkerino of a Choose Your Own Adventure book. But there's this thing in my gut that tells me maybe this is going to be a good one. Maybe this one is actually going to make sense a little bit.
Yeah, what a concept. That's new for us here on this show in the Choose Your Own Adventure department.
Right.
I'm going to do something definitely ill-advised, but I'm going to go on record saying I think he's the smartest McElroy. They all have amazing qualities.
Hear, hear.
I think he's the book smartest.
All I know is there's one of them who is in Forbes 30 under 30, and it wasn't Justin or Travis. So
Yeah.
do with that information what you will.
If any of the McElroys are listening to this episode, first, hi, huge fan. Also,
wait, no. I wouldn't want to have a drink with Griffin McElroy, I don't think. I'm not funny enough for him.
it'd be too intimidating to hang out with any of these guys.
100%.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to dig into this and see which of the 26 possible endings we're going to experience as part of this rollicking journey, The Stowaway, a sci-fi adventure.
Boy, I'm realizing just how much I set myself up for failure.
Nah, man.
I got to work really hard to not become a hypocrite by the end of this episode. Oh, no.
Yeah, we're going to have a wonderful time, and any sort of impurities or non-funny moments that occur during this recording are the fault of the author, I am sure.
Yep.
Thank you, Griffin. We love you. Now, on with the book. It begins with a beware and warning. This book is different from other books. You and you alone are in charge of what happens in this story. Blah, blah, blah. In the farthest reaches of a war-torn galaxy, a military transport cruiser barrels towards disaster. The crew has vanished. The security drones have gone haywire. The ship has flown light years off course, and it falls to a single passenger to decide the fate of this doomed voyage. A stowaway, tucked into a pocket of the ship's hull. You are that stowaway. Your home planet was conquered by the psychic astral order, leaving you a refugee on the run. To have any chance of returning home, you must solve the mystery of this runaway starship. Can you evade deadly robots, find the missing crew, and escape the ship before it reaches its final, fatal destination? Let's find out. Prelude, page 1. You find yourself in the midst of a most remarkable dream, the kind that only long-haul stasis can provide. You're standing on a cliffside overlooking a battlefield. With the hilt of your hollow lance still thrumming in your hand, you survey the destruction that you've visited upon your enemies. This is about as decisive as victories get. Decisive enough, you believe, to put an end to the revolution and bring the great galactic war to a close. All right, just starting off, I think we were right maybe about our initial impressions of how this book was going to be.
The tone is epic.
Yeah.
Already, like I'm closing my eyes to visualize some of these things and enjoying it. So that's a good start.
Though I find myself waiting for the goof.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to turn that off. I think that's what I'm already learning.
Yeah, I mean, in true McElroy fashion of doing something that is amazing on camera but not great for a audio-only medium for the audience, I just need to show you guys this excellent illustration from Pedro Rodriguez. So many of them happening in this book.
Cool.
Man, looks great.
Oh, cool.
Listener at home, if you want to see these illustrations, I guess you just have to buy yourself a copy of The Stowaway by Griffin McElroy.
Do it.
Darn.
Cowards.
You won't do it.
Get the book.
The royal soldiers below revel in their victory before reforming ranks to offer you a synchronized salute. You remember what it felt like being a lowly foot soldier, the terror of a descending horde, the relief of surviving another battle. It has been ages since you felt anything like that. When you can see the future, worry becomes a thing of the past. You are an astral, the last of your order. With your powers, you're unbound from the here and now. You can project your mind through space and time freely, occupying any body within your reach, witnessing any futures that might unfold. Nothing, no human thought, no forthcoming event is beyond your sight. For example, in 9 seconds, a revolutionary soldier will climb from the wreckage of the exoframe just behind you, take up his cutlass, and strike you down. You know he is here, know his intention, and know the fate that awaits you should you fail to interrupt his ambush. Still, you decide not to intervene. You were getting bored with this body anyway. As the revolutionary ejects from his mech, you similarly project your consciousness outward in the smoky evening air, floating across the battlefield in search of a new host. Before you can find one, a shrill whistle pierces the veil of this dream, bringing it to a sudden end. No, not a whistle, you realize. A siren. That can't be good.
Whoa.
Okay, can we pause for a sec? Hold on. Can we take stock on the world we're building so far?
Yes.
Are we a parasitic consciousness?
The question is that dream rules or is that like something that's actually happening?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if I were to imagine, this is setting the stakes for the world that we're inhabiting. So like astrals, I'm assuming, are like a real thing.
Yeah.
And this is a dream of our character, imagining what it would be like to be one of these awesome characters.
It sounds like the psychic astral order is the folks that like kicked our original planet's can.
Okay.
Onward.
Yes, onward.
Page 2, you wake up and immediately regret it. Same, dude. Every morning.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is cold and dark. Yeah, man, I live in Idaho. It's winter. I get it. Everything is cold and dark and for some reason extremely slimy. Yep, still Idaho.
Yeah.
Instinctively, you gasp, gulping down a mouthful of something that definitely isn't air. With understandable panic, you reach upward, attempting to claw your way out of whatever it is you found yourself trapped in. Now, this isn't your first rodeo. You've woken up inside a stasis sack after a long journey's rest enough times to know the drill. If you take your time and wait a few seconds for the nutrient slurry to dissipate, you'll emerge clean and quiet. The thing is, your past rodeos haven't involved deafening sirens rousing you mid-hibernation, so reflexively, you tear out of your stasis sack like a maniac, slurry and all. You emerge from your gooey cocoon into a cold maintenance compartment aboard the RSS Radiant, a decommissioned royal warship. It's among the worst places you've ever awoken, an inhospitable gap inside the Radiant's starboard hull. Only 6 inches of alloyed steel are between you and the vacuum of space. You stand slowly, your muscles weaken from your extended slumber, and bang your head on a low-hanging duct. You cover your mouth, muffling a curse, but you realize it's unlikely anyone heard you. You're in this compartment because nobody else on board has any reason to be here, unless the ship has experienced a hull breach, in which case you'd be dead long before you could be discovered by some unexpected engineer. That kind of privacy is vital to a person in your position, someone who's not supposed to be on aboard this warship at all. You're not a royal officer. You're far too young to enlist, which you wouldn't do in any case because you despise the kingdom with every fiber of your being. You are a stowaway.
Whoa.
Ooh, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need to revel in how much of a departure this book is from everything else that we've read so far.
Yeah.
A cold, numb feeling swells up inside you. It's a different kind of cold from the chill of this compartment. It's homesickness, plain and simple. You do your best to push it down and focus on the predicament at hand. You're not sure what set off the emergency siren, but whatever the reason, it's probably not great news for you. You find your crossbody satchel in the nearby nook where you tucked it, feeling deeply relieved that it's still there, and then retrieve your Optipad from deep within. Swiping away the media player, stocked with several hundred hours of entertainment programming you downloaded for that journey, you access the back door into the ship's network that you set up before entering stasis and load up the RSS Radiant's manifest. What you find is absolutely unbelievable. The first and most alarming bit of data here, and there's a lot of alarming data, is that this ship was supposed to arrive at Virgo Junction, your intended port of call, nearly 3 months ago. What's worse, your stasis sack is designed to network with the ship's navigation systems and is meant to gently wake you as you approach your destination. You've slept 3 whole months longer than you were supposed to. No wonder you feel so out of sorts. You consider where the ship is headed and how it managed to travel so far off course. Another bit of data on your Optipad answers that latter question, at least. According to the manifest, there are 0 active crew members aboard the Radiant at the moment.
Whoa. That's probably bad.
Okay, all right, we're alone on the ship, but we have several hundred hours of Taskmaster to tide us over. That's nice, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, in the future, they probably have, several hundred seasons from all over the galaxy by this point.
And Alex Horn is president of entertainment at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has been cloned millions of times over.
In perpetuity.
Yes, good. There is hope for the future. I'm glad. Okay.
Yes, as long as we have Alex Horn and Greg Davies as the intergalactic leaders of our future, I think we're in good hands.
I would agree.
Man, if it came down to it and there was like a galactic coup d'etat in which only one person could rise to the top, should it not be 6'8" Taskmaster Greg Davies? I, for one, welcome my new giant overlord.
Yeah, I'd be okay with
He
it.
is 6'8".
Dude, the very final episode of season 1 where he's handing Josh Whitcomb the trophy, and I was like, wait just a second. How tall is this man?
Why he look like that?
Why he look like that? That's shocking. Onward.
Yes, that is the person I want to bow before in the galactic future.
I will say, I love how much we're setting the scene.
Yeah.
Because you need parameters. Maybe that's the thing that the early books didn't quite nail good, is they just thought we wanted agency right away.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a choice when you're starting from anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. The problem when you're recording like a comedy podcast and trying to riff on like the logical flow of the book is, what if you just have to read like 13 pages of really good narrative before you get to make your first choice? Come on, Griff, give us some choices.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe it's bad content.
Maybe it is.
Let's find out.
If it is, it's Griffin McElroy's fault.
Griffin McElroy.
Just like we said. Okay, so no active crew members on the ship. How's that possible? The ship definitely had a crew when you snuck aboard, not a full regiment or anything. The reason you chose the Radiant for this trip was its decommissioned status, meaning you'd only have a skeleton crew to evade for the duration of the flight. But still, more than 0? 0 is just weird. The crew isn't the only absence mentioned in the manifest. At the bottom of the readout, you spot an alert that the ship's AI core is currently offline, which means there's no pilot and there's no autopilot, so who is flying the ship? You decide to find out. When you started stowing away on interstellar voyages, you learned the ropes from a large, vibrant community of hull jockeys you found on the galactic Freenet. Now, you've put their lessons through enough practical applications to know not to wander too far from your designated hidey hole. But if the ship's as empty as the manifest suggests, you're probably okay to do a bit of scouting. You return your Optipad to the satchel and run a quick inventory of your supplies. There are a few packs of rations, but they expired months ago. You consider risking it, as your stasis sack's nutrient slurry keeps you alive when hibernating, but doesn't do much to fill the old tummy. But starving though you may be, enduring food poisoning in a tiny crawl space without a toilet sounds hugely unpleasant. You set the spoiled rations aside. You rifle through the rest of the bag's contents, finding them in much better condition. You retrieve your hazmask just in case the sirens are related to some kind of life support system failure.
I'm so sorry. I just want the audience to know the restraint that a McElroy exhibited just then on the potty humor. I got to quit looking for goofs, because if he didn't make a goof there, we're
just glossed right over it.
It's classing it up in this ship.
Yeah.
He's classing it up.
Yeah, I love the idea of like some Reddit community in the future of like, I have a friend who in college was like, I'm going to learn how to dumpster dive and do it safely and efficiently. And so he went online and there's this whole Reddit community about how to find good food while you're dumpster diving. And I just love to imagine there's a similar community for people who are trying to stow away on military starships in the future.
That sounds like a really specific RPG perk, and I like it.
Yeah. All right, so we retrieve our hazmat just in case the sirens are related to some kind of life support system failure. You also pull out a few industrial strength glow sticks, a general purpose toolkit, and then at last, way down at the bottom of the bag and lovingly wrapped in a clean pair of woolen socks, you find a standard issue obliteration grenade.
Oh yeah. Wow. All right.
Love it.
Gotta have those.
Yeah. You remind yourself to relax as you inspect the explosive device. It's a dummy grenade, fully inert. Okay. Feel better about that.
Cool.
Right. Okay. Do we need to write this down?
Yeah, hazmask, fully inert dummy grenade. Well, you're like 97% sure it's inert. Okay, so a 97% inert dummy obliteration grenade.
Cool. 3% chance it's real.
It's so light, way lighter than you assume a grenade should be, and you've traveled with it for years without incident. You keep it around as a bluff in case you're ever caught during a stow. What are they going to do, apprehend you while you're waving around a fake grenade? You suppose it would also prove a deterrent should you ever encounter an unfriendly fellow stowaway, but in all your years of unpaid commuting, you've never actually woke up too fast, huh? A voice calls out from behind you. You wheel around, fake grenade held out in front of you like some sort of warding talisman. Regrettably, you let out a reflexive little yelp as you spin, which really undercuts your "I've got this grenade and I'm not afraid to use it" gambit. My apologies, the voice responds with surprising nonchalance. I didn't mean to frighten you. Lower that dummy grenade if you please. I merely wish to talk. You disregard his complete dismissal of your one and only line of self-defense as you scramble through your bag, cracking a glow stick open to flood the crawl space with neon green light. You see, through a vent in the duct you collided with earlier, the face of a middle-aged man looking down at you. You can make out some features through the slits in the vent. He's got a manicured goatee with tightly cropped dark gray hair. From this illustration, we got kind of like a Jonathan Frakes looking guy, and I'm a big fan.
Looking good. Weirdo in the vents.
Yeah, we've got Commander Riker here to help us out. I'm feeling a bit better now.
Yeah.
So yes, manicured goatee with tightly cropped dark gray hair. Pretty good grooming for a drifter like yourself, you think. You're certain he's stowing, given he's clocked your bluff without hesitation, recognized the signs of stasis interruption, and, most telling, is currently lodged in the ductwork of a spaceship. You ask him to confirm your suspicions. Indeed, he says. I'm afraid I also unticketed. I awoke from stasis myself an hour or so ago. Have you been able to access the manifest? I'm afraid something's gone terribly wrong. You tell him you're aware that there's no crew members patrolling, and the AI core is offline. He nods, teeth flashing a patronizing grin. Smart kid, he says, putting your hackles on full alert. That's right, I haven't found any crew anywhere. But I don't know how the AI could be compromised. I've seen drones on patrol out there, and they wouldn't be running if the AI was disabled. This complicates things, you think. The crew of the Radiant might be AWOL, but automated security measures would still put a swift end to your planned recon mission. As if he can read your thoughts, the stranger in the ductwork clears his throat. Look, he says, from your position, I'm pretty sure we can get to the security substation without being detected. It's right through that access hatch, about 50 feet down the east corridor. Big room, walls made of impact glass, can't miss it. Poke your head out, wait for the patrol to pass, and take off before the next drones show up. I'll keep snaking my way through ventilation and meet you there. We'll shut all the bots down, and then figure out what to do next. You consider his offer as you reach down to collect your belongings. The plan certainly seems to carry a disproportionate amount of danger for you, but shutting down the drones would make figuring out what happened to the ship considerably easier. So we're doing the Resident Evil thing, the classic Resident Evil move. Hey, here's a person who could really help me out in this situation. Let's split up.
He'll for sure be fine when we get back.
Yes. As you turn to respond, you find that the other stowaway has already disappeared with assassin-like grace. You've always prided yourself on your intuition. Growing up on Chorus, you developed something of a reputation for being untouchable. Every other kid had a story about sneaking off into the Cloud Pines and getting in deep trouble with the park wardens, or even deeper trouble with the wildlife. Not you, though. You always knew right when to duck off the main trail, when to outflank a passing carnivore, and when to take shelter from the sudden storms. The other kids liked when you did that. You liked that you had a reputation. You don't have one anymore, though. Nobody has known who you were since you left Chorus. You feel that cold water rising and manage to force it down once more. Sharp though your intuition may be, you're having a difficult time getting a read on the stranger in the vents. You're a better than average judge of character, you've got to be in this line of work, but it's hard to really read a person through a ventilation grate. Assuming his description of the patrol route was accurate, you'd likely be able to get to the security substation while avoiding detection. You've got plenty of experience with that. However, interstellar stowaway protocol, if such a thing exists, generally advises against wandering into unexplored parts of a ship in the midst of a crisis. When things go south, you, quote, go to where you know, unquote. You stay in the rooms where you've already mapped out all the exits. For your time on the Radiant, that's a pretty short list. This awful engineering compartment and the ship's loading bay, which you surveilled in port for a week when deciding which departing ship would be your next haunt. At this precise moment, with the siren still blaring in the distance, you deeply wish you had chosen differently. The cargo bay wouldn't be the worst place to head, actually. The cramped corridor you're currently standing in connects right to it. You wouldn't go anywhere near the crew compartments, meaning drone presence would almost certainly be lighter. With a ship this size, there might even be a shuttle or some other kind of small craft parked in the grav dock. If things aboard the ship are bad, it'd be smart to secure some method of flying the coop. Alternatively, you could just take that stowaway protocol as literally as possible and stay put, right here in the engineering compartment. You could hop back into your stasis sack and try to sleep right through whatever matter of catastrophe this ends up being. Your slurry reserves are running low, but there's probably enough caked into your clothes to get through a week or two. You try to ignore how gross that option sounds because really, none of these options are appealing. You pause, hoping your intuition doesn't lead you astray. And now, after so many pages of really good stage setting, we get to make our first decision.
I feel like if we were to go back to the pod, that would be like the quickest ending. I feel like that would be an ending and probably not a great one.
Well, let's see. We've got 3 options. Do we climb back into the stasis sack? Do we head towards the loading bay? Or do we follow the other stowaway into the crew corridor?
I don't vote for the stasis pod.
Yeah, I am inclined to go loading bay, but
Okay.
I feel like if this is somebody not worth trusting, that might be a quick way to find out.
Oh, I like that. I'd actually like to resolve that question.
Okay.
Let's go follow Riker.
Cool.
Yeah, let's follow Jonathan Frakes into the crew corridor. You clamber carefully towards the access hatch to the crew corridor, taking care not to brain yourself on any more pipes overhead. You press your ear to the hatch, trying to listen for the telltale whirring of nearby monitor drones. You immediately feel pretty silly, because you can't hear much of anything over the siren, and also the hatch is freezing, and it sucks to hold your face against it. You pry open the hatch a half inch, and try to get a visual read on the situation instead. The crew corridor, which spans nearly the length of the whole ship, is lit brightly with rails of white light that flank the walkway. As your eyes adjust to the light, you catch a glimpse of a drone at the end of the hall completing its route. It's about the size of your fist and spherical, with an array of tiny sensors and scanners covering its surface. Obviously friendly, right? We can handle this thing, right?
Oh,
it'll be fine.
yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
We're the stowaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think I'm still pretty sleepy. I don't want to mess with it, but I'm not the only voice inside this individual's head. So
We need to cough up some more slurry or whatever it was, I think, before
Yeah.
we...
Okay, this next line I think is the most Griffin line so far. It's so small. You could roundhouse kick that thing a good 20 yards or so easy.
okay, speaking of Resident Evil.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Still, you remind yourself that getting spotted by a monitor drone would bring far nastier bots down on your head. Those bots would be significantly harder to roundhouse kick because they'd be much bigger and so much more well-armed. You know, you shoot just the regular standard zombie, and next thing you know, a licker is coming for you and trying to bite your head off.
I say we stay undetected as long as possible. I feel
agree.
like there might be a group mind or a Wi-Fi connection that these guys have that we lack.
Okay.
As the monitor drone turns and passes out of sight, you try looking for any clue as to why the sirens might be going off. The scene appears relatively carnage-free. The floor isn't littered with royal officers, but you do spot some scorch marks on a nearby wall. That would suggest some kind of energy weapon was recently discharged here, and based on the metallic debris lying on the ground nearby, you assume a drone caught the brunt of it. Assuming this wasn't a case of drone-on-drone violence, you struggle to envision a scenario where an officer would take pot shots at their own automated security. But if the ship's AI core had gone rogue, which isn't really a thing, isn't it? Are we sure that's not a thing? I mean,
I've seen movies.
I've seen movies. I have watched a movie a time or two.
Yeah.
I think every movie there is inherent distrust. But I don't know.
I mean, unreliable narrator. That's what I'm saying here. We're having this narrator tell us that AI cores don't go rogue to try and put us off the scent.
I see.
What you're doing, Griff.
Definitely.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way, little dude.
So if the ship's AI core had gone rogue, which isn't really a thing, and turned on the crew, then the scene out in this corridor would be much grislier. Aside from the scorching and debris, the corridor appears to be far more lavish and pristine than you'd expect from a warship, even a decommissioned one. The walls are decorated with banners featuring royal crests and old astral iconography. The kingdom either intended for the Radiant to be a flying museum, or else it was meant to carry someone who's way high up on the royal chain of command. You lose focus for a moment as you try piecing together these environmental details. A monitor drone whizzes past the access hatch and continues its rotation, passing mere inches from your face. It takes everything in your power not to shout in surprise, but you maintain cover as it continues on down the corridor, mindlessly following its designated patrol route. Once again, it drifts down the length of the hull, stops for a routine scan, then turns and floats out of sight. Time to move. Alright, so we've got the Zelda Guards reference in this book here.
Absolutely.
You excel at evading detection, but sneaking past a ship full of monitor drones is a tall order. The crew corridor is lined with different rooms, each with large bay windows looking out into the hall. You're small and flexible enough to scamper under the sightline of those windows, but not quietly enough to avoid the drone's finely tuned audio sensors. Luckily, the ship-wide sirens are still blaring. If you're smart about it, you can use them to cover the sound of your scrambling. You leap down from the hatch, matching your landing to the siren's rhythm. Timing your movements to the sound, you crouch run towards the glass-enclosed security substation in the distance. You keep your head on a swivel as you scurry, looking for any sign of what's happened to the vanished personnel, but nothing catches your eye. As you near the security room, your attention drifts slightly as you pass the doors to the ship's galley, which quietly whooshes open as you walk by. You briefly fantasize about the kind of food that gets stocked for a royal high officer. In the silence between the sirens, your empty stomach emits a thunderous, mournful gurgle. From around the corner in front of you, the whirring of the monitor drone pauses. Then it starts to get louder. You catch sight of it through the glass walls of the security substation. It's doubled back and is going to spot you in a matter of seconds. Cursing your stupid, noisy digestive tract, you weigh your options. If you take off in a dead sprint...
Only Griffin McElroy would make a stomach grumble, like indigestion issues, a plot device.
He's like, hey, everybody, I want you to realize that IBS is a real problem for real people.
It
With
is.
real consequences, yeah.
Speaking of which,
Oh no!
I might need to do just a quick little pause.
All right.
This is only fitting. This
Yeah.
is the perfect moment.
It must have been like talking about the grumblies of the tumblies because mine immediately went,
Oh no!
Anyway.
All right. Insert record scratch here. Ha ha ha. Griffin McElroy has a bad tummy. Isn't that funny?
Ah, yes.
And none of us can relate to that.
True.
All right. So you weigh your options. If you take off in a dead sprint, you might just be able to clear the door into the security substation before the monitor drone turns the corner. It will be awfully tight, though. Alternatively, you could take cover in the galley until the drone passes, since the door is right there, open and waiting. Now, your intuition warns you that you don't know what's waiting for you in there. You could just as easily encounter another monitor drone or one of its larger, deadlier kin. Your intuition's concerns, however, are thoroughly drowned out by your stomach, which proposes that the only thing waiting for you in there is a million space burgers.
I personally galley because there's probably space burgers in there, but I don't even know if this is a choice right now.
I have to know if there are space burgers.
The internal narrator says that doesn't make any sense, but it's a compelling argument nonetheless. I agree. Do we want to continue toward the door to the security substation or duck into the galley for a quick bite?
Follow our gut.
Yeah, I want to find out if we're rewarded for role playing or
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
or what.
This is an experiment. Yes. Yes. We need to know.
Yes, follow your nose wherever it goes. A million space burgers. That does sound pretty great.
Pretty good.
You decide to go with your gut, your literal gut, not your metaphorical gut, and dive into the galley.
Yes.
You take cover beneath the bay window overlooking the corridor and hear the monitor drone pause just outside. After a few agonizing moments, it whirs off quickly, breaking its patrol route as it frantically tries to find the source of the tummy grumble. It's too dangerous to return to the corridor while the drone is moving so unpredictably. Also, you're hungrier than you've ever been in your whole life. You're inexplicably hesitant to break from the plan outlined to you by the other stowaway. In hindsight, he was really convincing for a stranger you found in a ventilation duct, but you commit to exploring the galley before going any further into your investigation of the Radiant. The galley is separated into two sections by a chest-high wall towards the back of the room. The first section, the one you're in now, is the dining hall, where lower royal officers would gather for meals and discuss whatever royal officers talk about. You couldn't begin to imagine.
Of course.
No, they're obviously talking about opera and the foibles of being, too tied to the tradition.
Quite.
Are we just practicing conservation, or are we in our form?
Exactly.
Silly conversations like that. Yeah.
This is what royal officers are talking about on their lunch break.
Yeah.
But whatever happened to the Radiant must not have happened during mealtime, because there's no half-eaten portions sitting on the long cafeteria tables. In fact, nothing's sitting on those tables, because they've all been overturned and pushed to the sides of the room, clearing a path from the galley's exits to the kitchen in the back.
How do you hide that many space burgers that quickly? That's what I want to know. Because I was pretty sure there's a
million space burgers.
million
There's
billion
a
in
million
here.
billion space burgers.
Come on.
Well, they're obviously in the kitchen, right?
Okay, they gotta be. Yeah.
You crawl along the path, standing once you reach the kitchen. There aren't any windows facing the corridor in there. There's also no food, you surmise, after giving the compartment a cursory look over. What? No, there's a million burgers in here.
What?
I was promised a million burgers.
I'm furious.
The cookery drone suspended from the ceiling over the kitchen's appliances appears to be shut down. You briefly consider finding and restoring its power source in the hope that it can whip you up some grub. Then you remember that you're not actually supposed to be on the ship, and the odds that a drone would take a lunch order from an intruder are probably pretty low. Your hopes of a million space burger feast dashed.
Dang it.
You approach the walk-in freezer at the far end of the kitchen. You'd prefer not to settle for a frozen nutrient brick as a post-hibernation snack, but beggars can't be choosers. With some effort, you crack open the doors to the walk-in freezer, and in so doing, you solve the mystery of the RSS Radiant's missing crew.
Oh,
Excuse me?
16 stasis stacks are laid on the floor of the freezer in 4 orderly rows. Within each one is a uniformed royal officer deep in hibernation but seemingly alive.
Oh, okay.
Whew, the manifest scan was technically correct. While there are royals on board, they're not exactly active. You walk along the rows, inspecting the officers through the transparent panels built into the front of the stasis sacks. The insignias on the collars of their uniforms revealed their ranks and roles. There's the navigator. There's the security officer. Oh man, there's the captain.
Bro.
For a second, I was wondering if this was going to turn into like the Regenerator section in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Griffin likes his video game references already in his Choose Your Own Adventure book.
I was worried we were going to see people burgers.
Soylent Green. You allow yourself 30 seconds to freak completely out before you figure out what to do next. That's, 30 seconds, that's a nice reasonable amount of time to fully freak out.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 1. What is the entire skeleton crew of the RSS Radiant doing hibernating in the galley deep freeze? You assume they wouldn't do so voluntarily, which you confirm by finding drag marks left in the frost on the freezer floor. They must have been incapacitated first, then put into stasis and stashed here, which seems like a convoluted way to neutralize the crew of an entire ship.
Yeah.
Question 2, who or what is responsible for the crew's disposal? Most security drones are equipped with non-lethal methods of taking down an enemy boarder. Based on the blaster scorching and scrapped machinery you found in the corridor, the evidence certainly seems to point toward this being the work of the ship's automated security forces. Only the ship's AI core is offline, so who's controlling the drones? And AI cores don't go rogue, as we know in this book.
Yeah, that's impossible.
And the last, most perplexing question, why? Why go through all the trouble to force the crew into hibernation? Why weren't they killed or jettisoned or subject to any other simpler, more permanent means of neutralization? It can't be because this is a book intended for a younger audience.
Yeah, no way.
As you finish your investigation of the walk-in freezer, you find a small pile of personal effects pushed to the side of the compartment. Stasis sacks work best when they're not stuffed with inorganic material. A light layer of clothes is fine, but anything more than that starts to gunk up the works. There are a few hats and kerchiefs, no thanks, a gold watch, it's pretty nice but you're a stowaway, not a thief, and a few other pieces of impractical garbage. After sifting through the belongings, you find 2 items that make the search worthwhile. The first is a small leather-bound notebook. You're not sure who it belonged to as its pages are blank save for one. Scratched down on the backside of the cover in red ink is a single line reading Sec Admin Pass 4D342.
Sick. S-I-C-K?
SEC, Sec Admin. So maybe
Sector?
Section Admin,
Yeah.
Secretarial Admin, perhaps?
What was that code again?
4D342.
Got it.
Yeah, the 4D3D3D3, whatever, Tim and Eric reference. Okay. You take a mental note of this password, wondering if this journal belongs to the ship's security officer. Security! Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it does belong to the security officer, they're really bad at their job. The second is a key card belonging to the captain, Captain Bellegarde, according to the card itself, which you pocket without hesitation. A new plan begins to take form in your mind.
I am the captain now.
If you remember the ship's general layout correctly, the galley's other exit is just a short sprint down the port corridor on through the Radiant's bridge. With the captain's clearance and access to the bridge, a lot of your problems get solved. You could shut down the drones, figure out why the Radiant has wandered from its destination. Heck, you could order a mid-transit lunch delivery if you wanted to.
Oh.
As you begin to fantasize about what non-nutrient brick foodstuffs you'd like to order, you hear a clattering from the kitchen outside. You poke your head out, then immediately poke it right back in, narrowly avoiding the downward arc of a rolling pin swung directly at your noggin.
Wow.
The cookery drone is back online, and the only item on its menu is head trauma.
Dang it.
Not the space burger?
Not a space burger, unless it's making a space burger out of our brains, unfortunately.
Baloney.
Okay.
Actually, there are quite a few kitchen implements dangling from its chassis that could provide a multi-course feast of bodily harm. It shakes erratically, its sensors blinking red as it rears back for a follow-up attack. You need to make a decision, and fast.
Oh, gosh.
Do we take shelter in the walk-in freezer, or do we make a mad dash for the galley?
I'd say dash. I don't want to get frozen with those other bods.
Creepy.
Sounds like a bad time to me. Let's make a mad dash for the galley exit. Turn to page 68.
How's our speed stat?
It's so good.
Great.
It's definitely great. I definitely know what it is. Regrouping. You decide to take your order to go.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Excellent prose.
So good.
You wait for the cookery drone to rear back its rolling pin for a follow-up attack, then nimbly dodge at the last moment, scrambling underneath the bot towards the kitchen's exit. It whirls around in pursuit, but since it can only follow the tracks in the ceiling from which it is suspended, it's not too difficult to outmaneuver. By the time the cookery drone swings itself into the galley, you've already escaped into the port corridor. You find it in a similar state as the starboard halls, its intricate decor marred by energy scorching. A few monitor drones lay dormant and busted on the deck. The Radiant's crew must have put up a valiant resistance before getting knocked out, put into stasis, and dragged to the freezer. In no hurry to join them, you clutch the captain's ID badge tightly and begin creeping along a marked pathway toward the bridge. A few footsteps in, you hear the voice of the other stowaway from a floor vent at your feet. "Okay, kid," he says. "Let's try this one more time." With a sigh, you kneel behind an overturned engineering cart taking cover. You can barely see the other stowaway's face through the narrow gaps in the vent, just enough to tell that he's deeply frustrated with you. You explain that you abandoned his original plan because your tummy made a loud noise, forcing you to take cover in the galley. You tell him what you found in the freezer, and that you've got the captain's ID badge, and that you're heading to the bridge to take control of the ship. And once you've enough, the stowaway's full-volume interruption startles you. You look down the corridor, certain the racket would attract a fleet of monitor drones to your location. You do see a drone in the distance, but it doesn't seem to have heard the strangers shouting. We have no time for diversions, the stowaway says. You must reach the security substation and deactivate the ship's security systems. From there, I will decide our next course of action, and if you want to survive this ordeal, you will obey. Am I understood? Okay, this Captain Riker guy is maybe not as pleasant as I thought he might be.
Yes, vent man.
As a rule, you don't much care for being bossed around. That's one of your main issues with the kingdom. Sure, the tyranny and subjugation is awful, but the bossiness just really sticks in your craw.
Preach.
Despite his unpleasant tone, there's some part of you that feels compelled to follow the stranger's demands. You can't go back through the galley on account of the knife-wielding robot, but if you can creep around a couple corners, you should be able to navigate back to where you started. Then again, between his hostility and the fact that he seems to live in the ductwork of the Radiant, the other stowaway's whole vibe seems way off. Maybe you should just ignore him and continue toward the bridge after all. So, do we follow the other stowaway's guidance back towards the security substation, or do we use the captain's ID to access the bridge?
While the vibe is off, I am inclined to kind of... and Mikey/Ned, y'all can feel free to go a different direction. I feel inclined to see what his plan is.
Yeah, I want to pursue the resolution on this dude.
He is a very attractive man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well sculpted facial hair.
I want to pull on this thread. Yep.
Let's get pulling.
I'll pull on that. I'd pull that. Wait.
All right.
The thread. Guys, the thread.
Yes.
I'd pull the thread.
Yep, the thread being pulled. In the short time you've known the other stowaway, he's sent up too many red flags to count. Despite that, you're filled with an inexplicable urge to do what he's telling you to do. You nod in response to his command and set off in a crouched sprint toward the corner in front of you. The coast is clear. The corridor leading back to the security substation is devoid of patrolling drones, and so you continue your weird little squat run down the hall. Just as you reach the final turn before the substation's entrance, you hear a telltale buzzing noise coming from around the corner. You spin on your heels and take off in a dead sprint back the way you came. You're not concerned about stealth. The monitor drone has definitely spotted you now. Your only hope is to outrun it and try to find a place to hide. You prepare to round the corner back to the galley's exit, but are forced to stop dead in your tracks as a second monitor drone appears in front of you. You're trapped in a pincer, drones approaching on both sides. You try to juke them, but they're just too agile. In a flash, they're on you. You feel the sting of a tranquilizing probe in your arm, and you flop to the ground like a rag doll. From the vent nearby, the other stowaway groans. "Next time, kid," he says, putting a truly annoying amount of emphasis on the last word. "You should do as you're told." The end.
What?
Okay.
No.
We died?
Well, we got sedated at least.
We're freezer meat?
And then we got belittled. Belittle kid.
And we got belittled.
Which is the part I like the least.
See, the part that I don't like about this is there's still some ambiguity as to whether, I mean, this guy, yes, he is condescending and attractive, which is a bad combination of traits for this man to have, but there's still some ambiguity about whether he can be trusted to help us survive this ship.
Yeah.
I felt a little lectured that there were red flags left and right, but the only red flags were that of a stranger, not of like,
True.
He's too handsome.
What if we go back to role-playing Fight the Man?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, do this and this, but that and that got us killed.
Exactly.
Or tranquilized. So
Got us turned into freezer meat.
Yum, yum, yum.
So let's try using the captain's ID to access the bridge instead, page 153.
let's do it.
I can't believe an attractive person led me astray.
Who'd have thought? That never happens in real life.
You've never been one to cater to the demands of authority figures, and you're not about to start now.
We should have known.
My way.
We should have known.
That's an accurate statement. I would never cater to the demands of... You flash a rude gesture toward the other stowaway and set off down the corridor, following the marked pathway toward the bridge.
Give him my favorite finger.
What do we think a rude space gesture is in the future?
I think the Pinky's the bad one now.
Pinky's the bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a reflection on the untamed bourgeoisie of the royal leading class.
Yeah.
Doink.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Pinky up.
Pinky up.
I don't have to listen to you.
Them talking about their opera as a form of high arts.
Yeah.
Who would want to talk about opera, am I right?
Go speak space Latin to yourself, you weirdos.
Oh, man, we love you, Mikey, and we love your hobbies.
So the headcanon in this for me now is that Timothée Chalamet has some large role in this sci-fi world.
Yeah, he's Paul Atreides.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, I think that's in Dune. I think that's in the books that he hates opera.
Exactly. Opera, ballet.
yeah, that's his whole driving.
So, yeah, we flash a rude gesture toward the other stowaway and set off down the corridor, following the marked pathway toward the bridge. As you walk away, you hear him howling in anger from behind the vent.
Awoo.
Yeah, howling in anger, that is, very, very appropriate and mature actions to be taking here, other stowaway.
Disappointed!
Fearing his shouts will attract the monitor drones, you take cover beneath one of the fallen decorative banners, then carefully sneak a peek back in the other stowaway's direction. As he screams, cursing your disobedience, you see a monitor drone float directly past the vent where he's hiding. It floats right by, completely oblivious to the sound of his yelling. Weird.
I'm starting to think this guy isn't really there and he's the psychic being we saw in the prologue. That's just me.
Oh, that's good.
We have been sleeping in like a malfunctioned slurry sack for a long time. We could be hallucinating this entire thing.
Could be.
We see dead people.
Maybe we're one space hamburger away from this guy going back to being not real.
As soon as we tame the bad tummy, everything will go back to normal.
What if we're the stowaway on the trip to heaven? We died.
What if we're the stowaway in the book The Stowaway?
Okay, here's my prediction. They're pulling a Zach Braff Zathura kind of situation here.
Okay.
Oh, man.
This guy is us in the future. We are Josh Hutcherson. This guy is Zach Braff. We're going to grow up to be him someday.
Yeah.
I really hope anybody listening to this watched Zathura back in the 2000s.
If you didn't, Robin Williams in Jumanji.
Yeah.
Try that one on for size. See if that fits.
Yeah, moral of the story, we're not going to trust Zach Braff because he is not real and the security drones can't see him for some reason.
Zach Braff is not real. He can't hurt you.
Not real. He's not real. And he's not Zach Baggins, who I definitely thought you were referring to at first. I was like, wait.
Oh my gosh.
Wait. Onward.
Yes, time to uncross some wires and get back into the narrative that our good friend Griffin McElroy intended for us.
Close personal friend.
Yes.
Let's hate on the pretty boy.
Yeah.
You throw the banner off yourself and continue following the pathway to the bridge. The door to the bridge slides open as you approach, detecting the ID badge you grabbed from the galley. A pleasant chime rings out as you enter, and an automated message plays through a nearby loudspeaker. Captain on the bridge.
Every time.
Now we are.
Every time.
That's you. An hour ago, you were a teenage stowaway illegally smuggled in the frigid butt crack of a royal warship. Now, you're the captain. Not bad.
There it is. Yeah, this is...
Nail it.
As you move deeper into the room, its various workstations flicker to life as you get near, including the captain's helm, complete with an ultra-plush chair that swivels to face you. You plop down on it and sink into the soft velvety cushions.
Naturally.
It occurs to you that you've been on the move ever since you woke up in your stasis sack. Sitting feels real good. A large instrument panel rises from the floor in front of you, illuminating your face with the inviting glow of its buttons, knobs, and levers. Your eyes are immediately drawn to one labeled Seal Bridge, which you click without hesitation. Heavy metal panels slide over the bridge's exit, preventing any passing drones from catching you red-handed. There are a few other promising-looking toggles, but your next selection is a button labeled Viewport Screen. You're not delusional enough to believe you can actually fly the RSS Radiant, but it would be helpful to see where it's heading. You press it, activating an enormous curved screen that runs along the front wall of the bridge. You've been on plenty of starships, but you've never seen the cosmos like this. The ship is traveling quite fast, as indicated by the stars streaking by the viewport's edges. Vast, cloudy nebulas of brilliant pink and turquoise fill the screen, painting the horizon in every direction. That is, every direction except right in front of you. There, swallowing the light and color surrounding it, is a perfect circle of complete darkness.
Oh, crap.
A warning pops up on the viewport, but you don't need it to know what you're approaching. The RSS Radiant is heading straight toward a black hole.
That's bad.
That's bad. I have a feeling that's bad.
Probably.
Man, so we got Passengers, we got Interstellar now.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, IBS.
Yeah.
This is a good book. It's a good book.
Everybody's favorite cultural touchstones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every brand of cosmic horror.
Oh, man.
Everyone knows that IBS is historically represented in like Aliens when the alien shoots out your... Yeah.
Exactly.
It's been here from go. It's been there the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Ridley Scott also had IBS. Oh, my goodness.
It all connects.
Oh, man. You change your mind on the spot. You are going to have to learn how to fly this ship, and you're going to need to learn fast. You give the captain's terminal a cursory scan and locate a section labeled Assume Local Piloting Interface. You select it, trying to remember everything you've learned studying maintenance manuals on the Freenet archives. The screen flashes bright red. For a fraction of a second, it produces an error message translated into 20 different languages, none of which you can read or recognize.
Oh, good.
Then, the terminal reboots. Slowly. Oh gosh, are we going to have a Windows update in the middle of this situation?
No.
Is that what's happening?
No, I don't remember my pin.
Oh goodness. As it starts back up over the course of 2 agonizing minutes, your eyes keep drifting upward toward the black hole. Each time you glance at it, an icy pulse of terror radiates through you. The captain's terminal blinks back on. You look for the piloting selection again and realize, in full panic, it has disappeared. It's not the only missing button either. Every few seconds, another option seems to shiver and glitch before vanishing before your eyes. They just updated us to Windows 11, guys.
Mamma mia. Cortana, turn the ship.
This is how old my laptop is. I can't update to Windows 11. Can you give me a lowdown on what the update was like?
Yes, bad.
Really?
9 to 10 was real. I don't know, man. I don't know. Just bad.
Just yearning for the days when I grew up with Windows XP and stuff relatively made sense.
Occasionally.
Oh boy. Things are disappearing before our eyes. Engine shutoff switch blinks off the screen. That would have been nice.
Yay.
Re-established Royal Network connection just went too. Oh, there goes artificial gravity.
We didn't need that.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Someone or something is hacking the captain's terminal in real time, stripping away the controls you could use to stop or redirect the RSS Radiant.
Dang it.
Since the ship's not on the galactic network, that can only mean the hacker is somewhere on board, controlling the ship's drones and navigating via a connection to this very terminal. The call's coming from inside the house. You give some serious thought to destroying it, if only to spite them. But there's one promising option remaining from the dwindling list on the captain's terminal, a button labeled Earth. You recognize the name, of course. Every school child is taught about humankind's planet of origin. You've never planned on visiting, terrestrial history bores you to tears, but from a tourism perspective, Earth beats the pants off a black hole. So, do we go to Earth or do we smash the captain's terminal?
I mean, let's go Earth. It's not a black hole. Let's
go to Earth.
Maybe, probably
It's not a black hole.
Hopefully not.
It is, unlike the hierarchy of things I would rather do, it is probably above black hole, I would say.
Yeah, at least by 1 tier.
So we're going to go to page 124.
Cool.
Which is labeled Crash Landing.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Just before the rest of the selections wink out of existence, you enthusiastically slam your finger down on the button labeled Earth. A deep, eardrum-rattling hum begins to sound from with the bowels of the RSS Radiant. Okay, Griffin, you can lighten up on it.
Yeah, we get it. You got butt issues. Don't we all?
You recognize the sound with great relief. The ship's fold engines are spinning up. Fold engines.
Are we about to fold?
I guess that's the answer to whether you crinkle or fold. In just a few sections, this is maybe like the most toilet humor we've ever had in an episode of this show.
We can go further. We have the technology.
It wouldn't be a love letter to Griffin if there wasn't a nod to the obvious potty humor.
Yes.
We were just talking about Shakespeare. Everyone's like, oh, there's not as much potty humor. Oh, there's a lot of potty humor. Yeah, we're showing it to you.
Yes. In just a few seconds, you'll be whisked away from this doomed trajectory, zipping through the extraplanar space on your way to the motherland. Or so you thought. Moments before vanishing, the Earth selection flashes green and expands to provide a status report. Emergency autonav, return to homeport, initiated. Oh, beans, you think? Yep.
Ah, beans.
A perfect Griffinism. Oh, beans, you think, before the fold engines fire, crumpling time and space around the ship like an accordion. When time-space uncrumples, you confirm your fears by checking the viewport screen. Indeed, the destination you're approaching isn't Earth, it's the RSS Radiant's homeport, a shipyard on the outer ring of the throne station.
Goose darn it.
Okay.
The captain's terminal chimes as you receive a message from the Royal Transit Bureau. You hesitate to open it as you're still trying to calculate exactly how much trouble you're going to be in once you land. Emergency frequency acknowledged. Stand by for remote landing operations. Oh, okay, that's not nearly as bad as you. Another chime. Network connection offline. Unable to operate remotely. Restore connection or abort approach. Well, that's an issue. The ship's manual piloting controls are gone, as is the option to reconnect it to the network. You try to relay that to the operator, only to find that the terminal has stopped responding to your inputs entirely. Throne Station is looking pretty close right now and getting closer by the second. Warning, collision imminent, reduce speed. A siren screeches from the terminal before you, prompting you to brace for impact. You strap yourself into the captain's chair as heavy metal blast shields fall from the ceiling, fully enclosing the bridge. You hold your safety harness tightly and clench your eyes shut, awaiting the impending crash. You finish your calculation. Should you survive, you're going to be in a truly unimaginable amount of trouble. The end.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanted to go to Earth. Alternative theory. Maybe the guy, I don't know if the guy is actually there. Maybe we are the astral beings that are seeing every possibility amongst this ship. And maybe that's our in-universe excuse to go back and try things again.
Oh yeah, let's astrally project to the third version of us.
Yes.
That did a different thing.
Because we see all these possibilities, right?
Okay, no, it's like Soma. We know
Yeah.
that Griffin loves video games. It's like the video game Soma. We just think that we are an actual human when in reality we are the AI core gone rogue. That's what I'm saying.
That totally hasn't gone rogue.
That totally has not, as we know, impossible.
Impossible for it to happen.
Cannot.
Sorry, everybody. Spoilers for the video game Soma that came out in like the early 2010s. When did that come out?
I still love that game. It's so good.
Wait, so what other choices were there? Oh, we could have faced the black hole, but other than that, we made a critical error early on, I think.
Probably. I mean, the last decision point was to smash the captain's terminal. Do we want to try that?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That is interesting, yes, at least.
I think let's give that a try. I mean, let's smash the terminal. Let's
Smash terminal.
Let's get out a little bit of rage. It'll be fun.
Yeah, break it.
All right, page 142. Some would argue that destroying the controls of a runaway ship as it approaches the event horizon of a black hole isn't the wisest choice. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, narrator.
Some might, yeah, sure.
But you've illegally smuggled yourself onto a royal military vessel on the advice of some strangers on the Freenet. Wisdom clearly isn't your strong suit. We just found some dudes on Reddit who were like, yeah, man, it'll be fine.
It's pretty easy. They've got tons of space burgers.
Yes, millions of space burgers. Okay, you lift the captain's chair and with all the strength you can muster, bring it smashing down onto the console. One of its solid metal legs stabs through the screen and you fall to the ground to avoid the resulting shower of sparks. You watch as bits of broken glass and computer components clatter to the ground where you lie, and then you see something else fall from the ruined terminal. Something moving. It's a little drone, roughly the size of your palm, scuttling across the floor on 6 wiry appendages.
Uh-oh.
Extending from its center is a universal data connector which presumably it had jacked into the corresponding port on the underside of the terminal. From there, it could control the RSS Radiant security drones, direct it to fly into a black hole, and generally sabotage the voyage at its leisure. You found your hacker.
No way.
Okay.
What the heck?
We were supposed... Yes.
We're supposed to smash the... Okay.
I learned a valuable lesson tonight. Destruction is good.
Yeah.
Destruction is the answer.
I take back what I said that you're the smartest brother.
Oh, man. It tries to scurry away, but your chair attack seems to have damaged it considerably. You consider collecting it if it's not beyond repair. The drone could be a helpful addition to your traveler's toolkit. Then, you remember that someone put it on the ship to kill everyone on board, including you. You smash the saboteur under your heel.
Get squinched.
The sound of the RSS Radiant's engines grow dull.
Crap.
Retro thrusters surrounding the nose cone of the ship flare, slowing it to a dead stop. Through a porthole window looking back into the crew corridor, you see the monitor drones that were following you earlier have gone dormant. You don't want to jinx it, but it looks like you're out of the woods. With the captain's console destroyed, you have no clue how to pilot the ship back to civilization. Instead, you spend the next couple of hours investigating its halls, trying to piece together what exactly took place during this voyage. There's something aboard the Radiant that its crew wants to try keep secret. There's no other reason why it would be flying through deep space without a connection to the Royal Network. If something went wrong, there would be no way to contact home base for assistance. And boy, did something go wrong.
Yeah, a little bit.
Your best guess is that someone, likely an operative for the Revolution, found out about the secret and snuck the sabotage drone aboard the ship at its last port of call. What you can't understand is the manner of its sabotage. Why put the crew in stasis instead of eliminating them? Why fly the ship into a black hole instead of simply activating its self-destruct protocols? If destroying the kingdom's secret thing was the drone's objective, it picked a weirdly roundabout way to go about it. You search for the other stowaway, hoping he'll be in a more helpful headspace now that the crisis has been averted. You find him tucked away in a luxurious stateroom nearby, fast asleep within a top-of-the-line stasis sack. You're not sure if he got here voluntarily or if he was dragged here by some security drone, but your intuition tells you he's better off napping. You don't really need him bossing you around as you try to figure out what to do next.
True.
You return to the bridge, set the captain's chair back upright, and plop down into it. You stare at the black hole in the distance, transfixed by the hazy ring of light encircling the singularity. The ship stopped far enough away to not be in danger of slipping into the gravitational well, but you're not eager to stay parked here on account of how immensely spooky it is. The ship's AI would be able to steer you home, but it seems like it got shredded by the saboteur. One of the officers from the galley's deep freeze would likely have some ideas, but you don't see a scenario where you revive one of them and also don't get thrown into a royal jail cell for the rest of your life. There's one person who can get you out of this mess. One person who can repair the damage to the helm, learn the piloting interface, and set a course for safer skies. That person is you.
Oh,
You reach into a compartment underneath the captain's chair and retrieve a technical manual, bigger and thicker than every book you've ever tried to read all bound together. You crack it open, randomly landing on a page about the fold engine calibration that genuinely makes you dizzy to look directly at. You shut the book, take a deep breath, and flip to the first page. You're going to learn how the ship works. You're going to learn how to fly it. You have to. You're the captain. The end.
whoa.
Okay. We're the master of our own fate.
Yeah.
I'm getting a flavor for this, where Sonic, the whole book was long form.
Yeah, there was like a cut and dry ending. Either you get there or you die.
Yeah.
And the solution is you die. With this, I'm liking these different endings. Like, I feel like we're gonna find one that is like the or one of the intended endings, but
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
Because we obviously finally reached a good ending.
Yes.
But there's still so much mystery surrounding, like, who is the other stowaway? Why was everybody knocked out? What is the thing that's trying to be hidden?
Yeah, the secret. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we still have a couple endings left to find out.
oh yeah.
Well, as it turns out, not only was it not Zach Baggins in Zathura, it was also not Zach Braff. It was, in fact, Dax Shepard. Apologies to Mr. Shepard for our indiscretion. But, ooh boy, we certainly do have more endings to find before we reach the end of this book, the multiple endings of this book. But I will say, I'm not going to say exactly who, but one of us, amongst all of our japes and jokes and speculation, actually did figure out in this first episode what the plot twist is. I'm not going to say who it was. You're just going to have to tune in next time to find out. But I will lead by saying that by the time we got to the end of this book, this is now one of my favorite books of all time, bar none, regardless of the fact that it's just a choose-your-own-adventure book. I love this book very much. I'm very excited for you to hear the ending, and much love and stuff, everybody. We'll catch you next time on Improv Tabletop. What we just need is like a Janiskiki Complete Works abridged kind of situation.
I'd be all over that. I'm down.
Oh, dude, the opera that goes wrong. Like,
The opera that goes
blend those worlds, please.
The opera that goes
Wait,
wrong.
Connor, they did write that. It's called Phantom of the Opera.
Aye.